Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, please pray for me on this Saturday night by singing along with me, gesturing, and leaving a like on this video. Let's sing it a few more times while we wait for a few guests to show up. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. Oh, happy Saturday night. I am back in Phoenix, and I am happy to report that I actually did see the girl that I was hoping to see. I met her at a speed dating event, and she had moved to Las Vegas, and I was completely mistaken. She actually was busy, but I got really concerned because you gotta understand, I drove 5 hours to Las Vegas, and I thought she was playing with me, changing plans, and just chasing me all around Las Vegas. That's what I was concerned. I don't know. I don't think I necessarily thought that was the case, but I was concerned about it. And but what was even more upsetting than the possibility of her playing with me was the fact that I was dealing with the grief all alone. Nobody in the hotel wanted to hear me out on it. In fact, one day I was recording a Peter Shit show about my grief, and this guy just simply said, "You can't record here." He clearly heard what I was recording about. He didn't give a damn about it. He could have talked to me, even if he needed to kick me out. Let's say it was his job to kick me out of there, right? He still could have answered to what I was talking about as I was leaving. He didn't even think about doing that. And that really upset me. That's not the behavior I noticed when I was in other places around the world, right? And so that was very upsetting, very riveting. And not only that, I later met him again because I didn't realize that I was recording this in the parking lot. I thought he worked for the strip club next door, and he might have had a good reason to ask me to leave. Right? There's a lot of places that don't allow you to record. That part is fine, actually. What's not fine is somebody hearing about all this drama, and the only thing on their mind is they want me to leave. Right? Just like last year when I was asked to leave the grocery store, when I was dealing. Yes, needing to leave an area is one thing, but being non-human when dealing with that is quite another, right? Okay. Anyways, I left. I didn't realize he was actually also staying in the same hostel. And later on, at the same see, I'm not very good with recognizing faces. I didn't notice him. He was actually staying in the same room I was sleeping at. And we later on the next day after I had woken up, he realized it was me, and he started to want to pick a fight with me again. And I got scared, and I opened the door because I knew there were people out there, there was cameras out there, and he locked me out of the room with my belongings and all that, and claimed that he worked for the hostel and that he was kicking me out of there. Now I told him, okay, well, I need to get my things, and I grabbed. He opened the door, I grabbed my stuff, and I left. And then I called the hostel to complain about it. And that's when I realized he actually doesn't work there, and certainly isn't property manager. He had been impersonating. I guess he didn't want me to stay with him. I mean, it would have been fine if he had told me that. We could have talked to the front desk, and I could have switched beds with somebody, right? If the issue was he didn't want to stay in the same room as me, but him impersonating the hotel. But the good news is that after we sorted this out, I got him kicked out of that place. So he's going to have to scramble. He works just next door at the strip club. He apparently had been living there for God knows how long, and now he has to scramble and look for a place. So that was a win for me, in my opinion. Um, Praying for your career to fail. Well, here's the thing: when I was in Taiwan, that's not how things went. You know, I had another dating situation that put me on edge too. And were there times when I recorded videos where I shouldn't have, or interacted with somebody I shouldn't have? Of course. But these people did not behave the way that this idiot did, right? And in fact, the very last day of the trip, what was really beautiful was that you guys remember what happened. I was in Taiwan and I had met a girl on Bumble, but unfortunately, it was toward the end of my trip. Actually, I'll get back to what the girl on Bumble because I still chat with her these days. And the last day of the trip, I went out with her the night before my flight out of Taiwan. And I came back. I was exhausted and I was so depressed because I had to fly back to the United States. And the next day, as I was getting ready to fly out of Taiwan, everybody was very understanding. I had to get up at 5 in the morning, and my roommates even helped me pack my bags and just helped keep me company while I was packing. And that is something that would not happen here in the United States, right? Everybody just lives in their own little package, right? I don't care what you're recording about, just don't record on my property, right? I could have been recording a suicide note and he could have just cared less except for just wanting to kick me off of the property. I guarantee, maybe I should give that a try at some point, maybe not, because I don't know what's going to happen. But I could have been standing at his strip club recording a suicide message and he could have cared less about what I was recording. I guarantee you. Or I could have been recording a plan to shoot up a school, and he could have cared less except for the fact that I was trespassing on his property. I guarantee you that, right? That's how we behave here in the United States, right? But anyway, very, very upset, very, very, very upsetting. Not so much the fact that that see the fact that the girl sent me on a wild or that I thought the girl sent me on a wild goose chase because she was so busy, that was only the least upsetting of it all. The second least upsetting of things is how busy we are here in the United States that forces people to put dating on a back burner like this, right? The most upsetting is the fact that people are so close-minded and live like they're in their own little island, right? Anyway, I thought I would say that. Now, actually, I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I could have been recording a plan to shoot up a school and he could have cared less, right? There are a lot of mass shootings that had a lot of warning signs where people lived and let lived, right, and didn't heed the warnings, right? There are a lot of suicides that had a lot of warning signs too, right? And so, unfortunately, that's a very extreme case of that, right? But uh, the next time you're victimized by something, next time your car gets broken into, the next time your house gets broken into, you could probably appreciate the fact that nobody's heeding the warnings. Or I could have been breaking into somebody's car on the Las Vegas Strip, and he probably could have cared less, right? As long as I wasn't doing it on his property, he could have cared less about that, right? And so, all right, it's just very upsetting in general, just very upsetting. But thank God, every night when I go to sleep, I tell myself I'm one day closer to being in Taiwan, right? And that's what helps me get through it sometimes. All right, please pray for me by leaving a like on this video. This is the Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum.